When you speak from the heart, people will always listen to you and be taken aback from you. And it's always not what you say, but how you say it. And if you can say it with real emotion or not, that makes the other person feel what you're saying. And not because you're trying to make it sound filled with emotion, but because you're speaking from emotion and feel what you're saying. And understand what you're saying and understanding the information that you want to get across. And sometimes you might have to ask yourself why you're scared to be vulnerable and show yourself in speaking from that real feeling. Why are you putting on a facade, and why don't you want to show yourself and show flaws to be able to be judged and seen? Like how you can see through others, you don't want them to see that through you. And the opposite of that being to have your heart on your sleeve and being able to show every emotion, and sometimes over the top and overly doing that to be able to feel that, okay, if you judge me and show you all your flaws and show that you can judge yourself, you don't feel scary if someone does judge you after that because you've already put it out there. But something that people that have their heart on their sleeve usually has is that they are very confident in being vulnerable and showing themselves and showing that they care for good or bad, not taking that or perceiving that for weakness or needing to protect themselves from being judged. They can show when they are happy or excited or dissatisfied. And that's something that a child does naturally and something that an animal would do naturally. An animal moves from instincts more authentically, just like a child, more than what an adult would do, who usually thinks more of how they will be perceived before actually doing something, thinking more beforehand what would be wrong or what would be judged or what would be embarrassing. And that is probably why a lot of children's stories are with animated animals, because children can relate to animals and their way of operating from instinct. And a lot of the time people probably don't realize that they do move a lot from their biological instincts and along with all the energetics, for example, how you can sense and tell how you feel towards someone. And when people use the term of grading people from 1 to 10 in looks, they might not always get that their idea of that is based on a lot more than what you think is objectively pretty or not. Since you're going off of energy and vibe and how someone presents themselves, how they walk, talk, dress, and who they think they are and how they express themselves in a room. Super dressed up or super chill, and whatever character people are presenting and whatever you are drawn to is for a reason that are connected to your values and connected to how you would find symphony in theirs and your emotional states. And nothing is personal and everything is personal. Just like you show people how to treat you at the same time as how people treat you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with who they are. But the more that you are in your energy and you are yourself and dare to be in your own personal instincts, the more you will be an interesting and fascinating person. Just like a child or an animal is always very interesting and fascinating to watch. When you can move from that instinct and to be able to speak from your heart, from your truth, and not speaking or operating from your facade, then people will be very drawn to you. And people will be taken by you and truly listen and truly feel what you're saying and who you're being.